Welcome, no matches and muggles, witches and wizards alike. My name is Glen and this is the Curtain Call. And I have a new person with me. Say hello, new person.
Hello, my name is Megan.
Hi, Megan. Why are you in my car?
Because I want to see the movie with you.
This is true. Anyway, so as you can probably guess, we have just gotten out of the Crimes of Grindlewald, and it's actually I can't say actually because that makes it sound like we were going and thinking it was going to be a shit movie. Like Teen Titans Go. But no, it is a really good movie. Don't believe the people who say it's a very bad movie because it's not. It's actually a really good movie. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. It's got twists you're not expecting, but it's
got a few. We'll talk about those in a minute. But so what would you say is well, let's go ahead and talk about Grindelwald for a minute. What did you think of Mr. Johnny Depp himself?
He was very good. As a fan of Johnny Depp, I can recognize he doesn't always... You aren't know what you think he will be, but he kicked it out of the park as Grindelwald.
Yeah, he did it really good, especially for an actor, because when you think of Depp, you don't really think of him oozing charisma a lot in his characters, because a lot of his characters since 2003 have just been Johnny Depp in a new hat. I mean, not Johnny Depp, sorry, Jack Sparrow in a new hat.
Yeah. Just very Tim Burton-y also.
Yes, but in this movie, he really puts on the charisma, and he really makes it seem like he can get you to do whatever he says. Not by, threatening to kill you, not by using the Imperious Curse, but by just being charismatic and talking to you like the Wizard Hitler he is supposed to be. Because Gellert Grindelwald, as we see throughout, like in the actual backstory, that he's essentially Wizard Hitler.
Yep. And
seeing how he acts, it almost makes you think, you know what? Yeah, he's right. We should follow him. Because he's trying to do the right thing. And so he completely he knocks it out of the park. He really does. And granted, it could be just because, I know I went in with low expectations of Depp, but I thought he was really good. He really was. And let's see, who else was in this movie? Eddie Redmayne, as Newt Scamander, he was lovely.
He was.
And granted, there aren't as many, of the Fantastic Beasts and Fantastic Beasts. There were a few.
We got a new one introduced though, so.
Yeah.
Well, two ones really.
True. And it was a good movie. Not a good movie, sorry. And it was a good fleshing of Newt, I would say. Because before, the only people we saw him around were Tina and Jacob, really, for most of the movie.
And, Queenie a bit, too.
Well, Queenie, too, but,
mainly Tina and Jacob.
It's just those three that he was ever really around. And as he got accustomed to them, he got more used to them. So he started acting more normally around them. But in this movie, we see him around people who aren't just Jacob and Queenie and Tina. We see him around his brother, Theseus. We see him around his ex. And we see him, in front of other government officials. And we see that good old Newt is the same Newt that he's always been. He doesn't function well around humans he doesn't know or likes. And I think it's actually a really good character trait, because while he doesn't come out and openly say that he's a high-functioning autistic character, because that... Exactly, I would agree with that. While he doesn't come out and openly say it, like Billy does in the new Power Rangers movie, he doesn't have to, because that's not what he is. He's Newt Scamander, level of beast, sort of iffy around humans. And we see that that's his strong suit, and he plays off the different people really well. And as soon as Jacob comes right back into his life, he's all open up and happy around him, because that's who he is. He knows Jacob. He likes Jacob. And he gives off, especially when he's walking around the beasts, he gives off a very Matt Smith as the Doctor kind of vibe. To the point where, like, he's really just happy and carefree because he knows what he's doing, and he knows what he's doing is correct. And that it's going to help. Like, for the, because you see it a bit of the trailers, you see, the big job. So it's gonna be one of those again. My phone keeps deciding it doesn't want to have space, so there's gonna be a few jump cuts in here, so I am sorry. But anyway, Eddie Redmayne, good. Johnny Depp, good. Let me think. Who else can we talk about without going too deeply into spoilers? The Beasts, they're alright.
Yeah. I loved one of the new ones in particular.
Yeah. The cat, right?
Yeah, it was like the Chinese one.
Was it the one that he fixed with that he
like
tamed with the little jiggling thing? Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's a cat toy.
It is exactly a cat toy. I feel like the Beast one is big of a part of this, but then again, this wasn't about the Beast. It was about Grindelwald, so it kind of makes more sense that they want to. Of course,
they're always going to play a role.
Yeah.
Like the Niffler.
Yeah, like the Niffler. We'll get back to him in a minute. Let me think. Is that really all we can talk about? I feel like that's all we can really talk about because there's not really that much left.
Because there's Nagini.
Right, Nagini. I have a theory about her. We'll get to her later. But how did you actually like her? Did you like Nagini?
I was unsure going in how I was going to feel about her, but I like her.
Yeah, kind of the same because I was intrigued by Nagini. I don't know if I am going to blow out these speakers right now, so give me a talk. Oh, no, never mind, it's gone now. But I don't know what I was expecting for her, but she plays off her she plays herself well. I would say that she plays the doomed witch to become a snake for the rest of her life pretty well, and that's why she's drawn to Credence, because Credence is sort of like her.
Honestly, I thought they were going to get together, but
that's where the theory comes in.
Okay.
Anyway, but
I like Loki shipped them, so.
So yeah, I know. I figured you would. So so let's just go ahead and get almost into spoilers. So how would you rate the movie?
I'd say at least an 8.
I would also say an 8 because it's not the best movie of the year. It really isn't. It's that goes to Infinity War, but it's a very good movie to the point to where it makes you think a lot more about not exactly like the deeper mysteries of life, but more to the point of like what are they going to do next? Because I want to know, especially after some of the stuff that we've seen in that movie. So, yeah, go see the movie. And if you can, get a friend with you. Get somebody who knows, either someone who knows Harry Potter or just, someone else. Because this really is a film that's meant to be sort of enjoyed with more than just you.
Yeah.
I would think that. A lot of movies are, made for more than just you, but this one in particular is one that's a lot more of a friendly kind of thing, I would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, spoilers are incoming, so if you don't like them, please go away. We can't obliviate you because we are squibs.
Even though we have wands.
Well, yeah, we stole them,
Yeah.
Details. Anyway, so, are you all gone? If you're not, well, that's a shame, because I'm about to drop the biggest spoiler of this film. Severus Snape, alright? So here's what happens, right? They cast a guy who looks almost exactly like Alan Rickman. And they bring back the super powerful time turner from the Cursed Child, and he goes back in time, and he kills Dumbledore. And he basically shaves off his head to make use for a whole bunch of Polyjuice potion, and Snape becomes Dumbledore. How amazing was that?
It would have been if it happened.
You're right, but it didn't happen. But there is a new Dumbledore in town, and his name is Credence Barebones. Yes. So, Credence's whole plot in the film is that he's trying to find out who he is. He's trying to find out who his family is. And he's trying to go home. You know, he's trying to figure out who his family is, and he wants a name. And and the movie points to the fact that he is the long lost Corvus Lestrange, who was mysteriously said to have been lost at sea. And we actually see the backstory of Credence Lestrange, to where his father didn't love him. Oh, his father loved him. His father didn't love anybody else.
Yeah, didn't love his daughter, didn't love either of his wives.
No, he actually used the Imperious Curse to get one of his wives, and that's where Lita Lestrange came from. So nobody likes Credence. And basically, Corvus decides, after he has his son, for some reason to send him to America. I still don't know why.
It was because Lita's half-brother wanted...
That's right, the revenge plot. So...
Yeah.
There was a big plot against Corvus Lestrange, and so they're looking out, and so he decides to send his family to America, to keep him safe, and their ship goes down. I was kind of hoping it would be the Titanic.
Unfortunately, it was not.
I know. Does it say if it was the Titanic or not?
I don't think it said.
It never said. I kind of thought it was the Titanic. I don't think it was. There were too many lifeboats. Those lifeboats were way too filled.
And I don't think it was the right time frame.
Maybe. Anyway,
because it went down in 90,
anyway, it wasn't
12, I think?
Maybe. It wasn't the Titanic. And what happened is that Lita, she didn't really like little baby Corvus. He was very, well...
I wasn't she liked him, but she was just tired of his constant crying.
This is true. And so she set him down for a minute, then the lights flickered. She picked up the wrong baby. Dun, dun, dun. And the baby drowned. Corvus drowned, not baby Credence.
But she knew once her caretaker started driving away, wait, this is not my brother.
Yeah, so that's why Credence was with the Barebones, because he was given to her to protect him. You know, because that always works.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
And so Credence still doesn't know who he is, and he falls under Grindlewald's spell of, I will help you, come with me, my child. And so he takes him to a castle, and it turns out he's a Dumbledore.
Aurelius Dumbledore.
I know, and
that was the biggest twist.
It really was. And now, and it could just be the fact that he's lying, but it's not, because...
The Phoenix.
That's right. There was a legend in the Dumbledore family that a phoenix will appear to a Dumbledore when he needs it. And the phoenix happens to appear to Credence right after he gets his wand from Gellert Grindelwald. And he's a Dumbledore now. So it's just such a huge thing, because no one thought that he was a Dumbledore. No one thought he was Dumbledore. Everyone thought he was either like Corvus, because a lot of people thought he was actually the real Corvus, and that's what they were setting it up for. I mean, I even saw something that he was actually Grindelwald's son.
I mean, I could believe that one.
But the fact that he is a Dumbledore and it's so much bigger and so much more amazing, and it's so cool, which really makes you think, what are they gonna do? Does Albus know that there's another Dumbledore? If he does, then what's gonna happen next?
But they do kind of hint that maybe Dumbledore does know, but that could just be Grindelwald talking.
Yeah, that is true. So, speaking of Albus, we now learn why he can't fight Grindelwald, and I think it's two reasons. Personally, I think it's two reasons. I think one is the blood pact that we see them make. And so we see the Mirror of Erised, and Dumbledore looks into the mirror, and he sees young baby Dumbledore and young, fresh-faced, not crazy-haired Grindelwald make a blood pact to where they swore they would never fight each other. And Grindelwald kept that in his pocket for the longest time. But then, Super Niffler, who we all know and
He
love...
gets pickpocketed by the Niffler, and it turns out it was the Blood Pact.
This is true. So now Dumbledore has access to the Blood Pact, and he's going to try to destroy it, or see if he can destroy it.
Yeah, because he's unsure if he can, but it's possible.
Well, we know he does, because
Yeah.
Dumbledore ends up defeating Grindelwald in a duel. He claims the Elder Wand and throws him in Azkaban.
Yep.
So, we know that he eventually breaks it. But I think it's twofold. I think it's that. I also think it's the love. Because J.K. Rowling has said that Dumbledore is gay and that he was in love with Grindelwald, but it was unrequited love.
Yeah, so he just doesn't want to go against the man he loves.
Right, and that's why because you see him in the mirror, you don't really see the young Grindelwald, you see Grindelwald as he is now. So I think Dumbledore is still in love with him.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest. So those were the two really big plot points of the biggest plot twist of the film. There was also a few other plot twists going on in the film, like Lita, she's dead,
And Queenie.
and she's not dead yet.
Well, no, I'm talking about her twist.
So Queenie, when we first see her, she's the same Queenie she always was. She's all lovey, she's dovey, she's reading people's minds instinctively, and she brings Jacob over to London because over in England, witches and muggles can marry, but you can't do that in America. And so she uses a really powerful either love potion or a really powerful love spell on him, which is illegal.
Yeah.
And to make him basically just follow her. Now, it's not that she did it because he didn't love her.
Oh, he's very much in love with her.
No, he is very much in love with Queenie. But he's being safe because he doesn't want to see Queenie get hurt by the Makusa.
And thrown in jail because that's what's going to happen.
Right. So Grindelwald. So eventually, she leaves in a huff because she's all upset. And she tries to go find Tina, who's in France, to hunt down Credence. And they'll talk, and eventually she runs into a supporter of Grindelwald, though she doesn't know it. And the supporter takes Queenie to where Grindelwald is hiding out, and he just talks to her. And he convinces her that, he's not such a bad guy. He really is.
He wants what she wants.
Right, he wants her to be happy. And he's not like Voldemort. And he's not like Voldemort who just sees all muggles and half-bloods as lesser. He doesn't see that. He sees them as the other.
He sees them as useful in their own way.
Right, like slave labor.
Pretty much. He actually does say in the film, like, oh, there's always going to be a need for, manual labor or something like that?
Something like that. And so, he actually convinces Queenie to join him, because if Grindelwald wins, the statute of secrecy is gone, Queenie and Jacob can be together.
But I'm not so sure that would happen anymore after... Because Jacob was he was begging her not to go to Grindelwald.
He's still in love.
Yeah, but that's a little hard to get over, though.
He's still in love.
He might be, but you kind of see what
He'll get over it.
Maybe.
So that happens, and you're gonna see Jacob's heartbroken. Was he at Hogwarts?
Yeah.
Was he at the scene at
I'm
Hogwarts?
pretty sure they took him to Hogwarts.
What did he see? Because he can't see Hogwarts. He's a muggle.
Maybe there's a special charm they cast over him.
Maybe. I don't know. But anyway.
I'm pretty sure he was at Hogwarts, though.
I can't remember. Anyway, that's not important. But what was I talking about? Jacob, right. So he's heartbroken, and I think that's gonna be his plot point over the next few movies, that he's gonna try and get Queenie back. And let's see. Oh, so Grindelwald, going back to Grindelwald for a minute, he's a seer, if you didn't know. He has prophecies. He can see into the future. And excuse me. I think I've been thinking about this. I think that he is right and he is wrong. because Grindelwald shows all of his supporters,
He shows
drug-fueled vision powers, that he basically shows them World War II.
Yeah, you see the atomic bomb, you see the Blitzkrieg in London. It's...
And I'm thinking that either he doesn't know what he's seeing, because he sees the war and he knows that it's the war. I think that either Gellert Grindelwald is misinterpreting his vision as this war is a war on wizards, or he knows it's a Muggle war, because he says later on that how long until they turn their weapons on us.
Yeah.
He's using what ifs and fear tactics, very prominent what ifs and fear tactics.
He's manipulating.
There we go, just like Hitler.
I'm not so sure he didn't kind of nudge Hitler, depending on when the next few movies take place. He might have...
No, that's far... No.
No. You never know.
You're right, I hate the fact that I'm thinking about that now because of you.
I'm sorry, I mean...
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, So speaking of theories, Nagini. Good old Maledictus Nagini. Now, I've been thinking, and after seeing her transform, granted I haven't seen the movies in a while, the original movies, I don't think she's Voldemort's Nagini.
They look similar, but the head's a little differently shaped.
Right, so, now, that can change, and I might be completely wrong. But I'm thinking that she and Credence, at some point, she might try to get to Credence or Aurelius, and they're going to have a child. And that child...
They looked like they were in love in the movie, at least a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that there. And I think that child is going to become the Nagini that we all know and Voldemort very much loves. I could be wrong. I probably am. I would like that to be a thing, that she's not the real Nagini. Let me think. Oh, Theseus! Good old Theseus. We don't see him much, but what we do see of him is he's a very interesting kind of guy. He's not very... He's a character. He's very hard to describe because he very much loves his brother.
He does, but he doesn't always show it in the best way.
Well, he says they're watching him. He tells Newt that Theseus is he's being watched.
Yeah, but I'm talking in general.
And I have to see more of Theseus because I like him, but I don't know how I'm going to feel about him. I need
to see a little bit more of him.
I would agree. Lita, good old Lita, the baby murderer.
Inadvertent baby murderer.
Well, true. But hey, look at it this way: if she hadn't killed baby Corvus, then baby Credence would have died.
Yep. We wouldn't have all the issues going on now.
This is true, but. Oh god. But anyway, who was I talking about? Lita. Lita, right. So she's dead. She decides to be daring and brave and try to kill Gellert Grindelwald.
Honestly, when she was coming down to see Grindelwald, I thought she was gonna go with him.
I did too. And then she said I'm sorry and tried to kill him, and that worked out.
Yeah, she got hit with a killing curse.
No, she didn't.
It looked green to me.
It might have been a green curse, but she was consumed by the fires.
Possibly.
She was killed by the fires. Yeah, there was magic fire.
Blue magic fire.
Blue magic fire, yeah. So it was very hot. It was like incinerating people. It was interesting. It was very interesting.
The non-believers, basically.
Well, the Oars.
Well, no, they had his one follower who wasn't completely devoted.
Never good. Yeah, true.
It's like you had to be really devoted to Grindelwald to make it through those fires.
So they left, and there was that big. You see that big set piece in the first trailer where they're stabbing their wands into the earth. They're basically fighting the evil blue magic.
Speaking of that scene, Nicholas Flamel.
Right, Nicholas Flamel. So we knew he was in the movie because he was advertised and we saw him in the trailers, and he's very, very old. And
he's immortal.
Well, yeah. So he's an alchemist, so he's immortal. And so we see him actually after everyone leaves his house, because that's the postcard, essentially, that he gives to Newt, that say, hey, here's a safe house. It's the safe house of Nicholas Flamel, a really old friend. Get it? Because he's old,
yeah.
He's an alchemist.
I was not expecting that, but it was not as big a twist as some other things.
No. Well, yeah, true. And we see him after everyone leaves, and he's like, oh dear, oh dear. And he goes, gets this magic book. You see the Philosopher's Stone just sitting there in a jar.
Yeah.
And he opens the book, and he basically contacts the Makuza, which kind of makes me think, is he working for the Makuza, or is it just because he's a 350-year-old, or he's a, well, no. Jacob says he's 300 years old.
No, he says you don't look a day over 375.
Right, so he's much older. But I think the Philosopher's Stone was made in the 1100s. I don't know why. That feels like it's an important year. But anyway, so he contacts the Makuza, so that makes me thinking. Is he working for the Makuza, or is it just because he's a really old
they want to keep tabs
wizard
on him?
with... Well, no, because he contacts them via holobook.
Well, I'm saying they want to keep tabs on him, so there's this whole method
Well, no,
of
because she said... Yeah, but then he says, I haven't seen, like... He says, I haven't seen field experience like 200 years. Which makes me think, is it just because, again, like, is he working for the Makuza, or is he... or does he keep tabs on all the ministry officials because he's Nicholas Flamel?
I think it's more the latter.
I'm interested to see if it's the first, though. I really am.
It would be interesting if it was the first, but I think it's more the latter.
Possibly. So, that's a lot of the... What are we missing? I feel like we're missing something big. We talked about that. Are we missing anything? Oh, Harry Potter doesn't show up, like some people thought, because well, not Harry Potter lightning bolt Harry Potter, but Harry Potter, the grandfather of Harry Potter, who invented. He was either an aura, or he invented the hair straightening potion. He might have done both.
He might show up in the next movie.
Maybe.
But this isn't really Harry Potter's thing.
Well, no, but I'm not talking about Harry Potter. I'm not talking about...
I know you're talking about. I'm saying it's not really focusing on the Potters.
Well, I know. Everything focuses on the Potters. Everything is related to the Potters. Oh, McGonagall shows up for like 2 minutes, and she shouldn't be in the movie. She shouldn't be, because of how they've originally established McGonagall's character.
Honestly, I like McGonagall in the movie.
I love McGonagall too, but she shouldn't be in the movie. Unless it's a different McGonagall. That would be so stupid if that was a different McGonagall, because she acts completely like the McGonagall we all know and love.
Which, yeah. I do have to say, I like that the flashback with Lita, what McGonagall does.
Yeah, so Lita, because everyone hates Lita. Lita is hated by everyone except Newt. It's cute. And so she curses a girl who was bad-mouthing her, and she's basically running away. I will say that's the one thing I really didn't like, is that when all the students were chasing after her, it's like they were sort of like half-heartedly doing it. It was a very awkward scene. And so she's hiding behind the corridor, and everyone's following her. And young, very, very, very young McGonagall. She must have been
at least a new teacher at that point, if not just starting.
Maybe. So she goes, she untransfigurates the student who was bad-mouthing her. She's like, it was strange, blah, blah, blah. She just zaps her again.
She was bad-mouthing again, and McGonagall's like, zip it.
And it was great.
It was.
I don't know. I feel like I'm hoping that her being in here was less of a... McGonagall's going to be a big character now, and more just a... He was a person that who's a character that we know who knows, might have existed at that time.
I think she was more in there to kind of establish Hogwarts' background area. Because Hogwarts didn't really play that big a role, even though there were several scenes there.
when it first showed up over the mountains and you heard the theme.
I know, I was like, wait, is that the safe house he's talking about? What?
You didn't know? You didn't know that it was in the movie?
You realize I actually didn't see the trailer?
You haven't seen any of the...
I mean, I knew about Nagini from Tumblr.
Yes, Hogwarts is in it. They established this in the second trailer.
Yes, well, I didn't see the
Well,
second
Dumbledore
trailer.
shows up in the defense against... He teaches defense against the dark arts, which is very strange, because he wasn't the DA teacher. He was the transfiguration teacher.
Well, but you keep in mind how often they go through DA teachers.
That was before that was after Voldemort. Voldemort cursed the defense against the dark arts position.
Well, they still go through them.
So when the Ministry goes to visit Voldemort, not Voldemort,
Yeah,
when they
no,
go to
Voldemort.
visit Dumbledore, head Auror, kind of dick guy,
He is a
decides that he's going to monitor Dumbledore even more, puts on magic cuffs on him that somehow
They're
let him
basically
know,
magic ankle monitors, but for your wrist.
that somehow make it to where he can see every spell that he can cast. You shouldn't be able to do that because Dumbledore is an adult.
Like I said, magic ankle monitors.
Dumbledore is an adult. I don't... How are these gonna stop Dumbledore?
Well,
And
they're not
then...
gonna stop him. Jay can just see
And
what
he
he's doing.
says that Dumbledore can no longer teach defense against the dark arts. What if this is how he gets out of defense against the dark arts and goes to
might
become
be.
a transfiguration professor?
It might be.
Because he was teaching transfiguration when Tom Riddle was around. Maybe that's it. If so, that's stupid. But,
We'll just have to see how it all plays out.
Dumbledore. How about Dumbledore? I actually really like Dumbledore.
I liked that Dumbledore.
Jude Law is a very good Dumbledore.
I like the gloves bit.
Yeah, that's great. He's Dumbledore. He can do what he wants. He can have magic gloves that can apparate.
Well, I think they're more like temporary port keys.
No, he apparates.
No.
Trying to think, is there anything else? So, Dumbledore, good. Jacob, good. Queenie, evil now.
Or misguided at the least.
Oh, she's completely...
Yeah,
well,
I think she's gone off the deep end, but maybe not totally bad.
she can be saved.
Yeah, I think she can be saved.
Until she is going to make Grindelwald promise not to kill Jacob. He's going to kill Jacob, and Queenie is going to turn spy at great personal risk. Queenie is Severus Snape confirmed. She changes her name. Wait, no. Mother was a half... Snape's mother was a muggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I
There
know.
goes that theory.
Actually, I don't remember, to be honest.
No, it
well,
was.
because he was a half-blood.
He was the half-blood prince. He was half of a prince. His father was I'll bet you his father was the pureblood. His father was the wizard. I will
I don't
almost
remember
guarantee
off the top of
you.
my
I
head.
will almost guarantee you that Snape's father was the pureblood.
Let's look it up.
Let's look it up. So, as she looks that up, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that we can talk about in the movie? Talk about that, talk about that, talk about that, talk about that. Oh, this is kind of minor, but I really do like how, because when we see little Hogwarts Newt, we see him talking about the history of the book twirls, the little stick guy who lives in his pocket. And he's talking about how they only nest in trees with wand cores, and that's actually canon.
His mother was the prince.
I know his mother was the prince, but
Let's see this.
the prince was also a muggle.
Let's check.
So, a lot of actually the Fantastic Beasts lore that they
Oh,
use...
nope. The prince family was the purebloods.
Really? So, Queenie changes her name to Alana Prince, and she gives birth to Snape. No, because Snape's... That's the wrong... Snape is an oculist. No, he's a legitimist. He's both.
Because he taught Harry oculins.
Yeah, so Snape is Queenie's son. Or grandson. Confirmed. You heard it here first. So, I think that's it, actually. I think that's everything that we can kind of talk about. Because we've gone over everything in the film. Newt decides he's going to join the war against Grindelwald. It's gonna be hard because Grindelwald, Wizard Hitler, he knows how to sway a crowd.
He does.
He's very good at it too.
Because he managed to seduce over a Makusa R to help him escape.
Well, that's easy. It's easy. So I think that's everything. So overall, does your rating still stand at 8?
Yeah.
So it is an 8. Go see the movie. I'm very excited to see the rest of it. And see what they do. I can't wait to see in the final movie the fight between. Oh, the other thing I forgot. There was one more thing. So I think I forgot. There was one more reason why I think that Dumbledore was afraid to fight Grindelwald. And Blood Pact, love. There's a third thing. Prior Incantatum.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Right, but I don't think it was on this recording.
No, it wasn't.
So,
it was like the previous 2 recordings, but not this one.
Details. So, Prior Incantatum, for those of you who don't remember, is when 2 brother wands, so, I'm gonna borrow you for a second. So, it's when 2 brother wands are dueling each other, and their cores sort of connect, and they reveal all the past spells that they had done in reverse order. So it was in Goblet of Fire where we see how Voldemort's wand rejected sort of like the spirits of Harry's parents and Cedric and the old innkeeper dude and a hand in the books. It was very weird.
Yeah.
And there's a theory, because if you look at the posters that they released for Crimes of Grindlewald, Dumbledore doesn't have 1 wand. He has 2. And the theory is that Grindelwald's and Dumbledore's original wands were twins. And before the great battle, where Dumbledore and Grindelwald finally split, because that's where Ariana died, and he indirectly mentions Ariana about how regret is the constant companion of Albus.
Because he was talking with Lita, and she was like, "Oh, but you can't understand how I feel. Did you have a brother? Did you love him?" He's like,
"I had a sister."
He's like, "Yeah, in my case, it was my sister."
And he didn't. Dumbledore was terrible to his sister because she wasn't a squib, but she wasn't able to control her magic very well.
There was actually because of the she was young, and then those neighbor boys.
Right.
They damaged her in the head somehow.
It doesn't make. But anyway, he didn't love her. He didn't really like Ariana. She was a burden to him, and that's why he spent so much time with Grindelwald, because he wanted to get away from his family. And at the end, there was a great big fight, a 3-way fight between Dumbledore, Aberforth, and Grindelwald. And at the end of the fight, Ariana was dead. And nobody knows who cast the spell that killed her. And I think, especially after seeing the movie, that's the other reason why he doesn't want to do it. That's why he also switched wands. Because the original wand that he has, which is Grindelwald's wand, he feels that if they were to fight,
he would see the spell that maybe killed his sister.
That definitely killed his sister was from him.
Or from Grindelwald, because that would still...
No, I think if it was against Grindelwald, it wouldn't matter, because that would give him enough reason to actually hate him. I think he's more scared of the fact that it could be him,
possibly,
and that's why he doesn't want to do it.
Possibly.
But with that lovely little ending, so it's a good movie. You should go see the movie.
Go see it.
You should. You really should. And so I've been Glen.
I'm Megan.
And this has been the Crimes of Grindelwald's Curtain Call. We will see you next time.